Good day everyone and welcome to Exile News, the weekly show that brings you all the important news and information on Path of Exile. And as you might know, last Thursday, GGG dropped all of the informations about the new Necropolis League, and they had a Suffering Back attachment as a Twitch drop while doing that, so if you got it, that was good. And, well, this is the official landing page where you can watch the full PoD for the livestream, which honestly I recommend, although the PoE2 Ranger gameplay walkthrough is cool, but there's much better, and we'll talk about that later, so you can actually skip that honestly. Necropolis trailer looks good. The content reveal is very important to understand how the mechanic works, and we'll take a look at that in a second. The announcement is exactly the page that we're gonna take a look, and there's full patch notes, of course, already being released, although it's not completely full, honestly. I haven't seen the official Transfigured gem release, so they only said which gems they are releasing, and I've seen some screenshot for the level 1 gems on Reddit, but usually they just say release the new intelligence strength skill, something like that, and then they'll explain the skill. They haven't done that yet, not that I've seen so far, so that is a bit strange. Honestly, it was one of the main things that I was looking for. But anyway, there's also, of course, support packs and the usual amount of, well, media coverage, which, I mean, they have increased the media coverage, although I honestly haven't even looked at those, as if you've been watching like the live stream or you've been reading around, you don't really need any media whatsoever. So how does the new league work? This is the new thing here. Basically, you are helping the Undertaker and you're building items out of souls. He's going to give you this lantern very, very early. I suspect like literally a level 1 outside of the first city. And the league works in a way that whenever you enter a zone, and that works for each and every zone in the game, campaign and maps as well, you are getting these here, and you can see all of the monsters on the left that will be populating the current zone that you're entering in, and on the right you will have a lot of modifiers, and you can drag around these modifiers, and basically they will apply to the type of monsters that they have on the left. So for example, this monster here will have skills fire 3 additional projectiles, and if you put this mod on a monster that does not have projectiles, you're basically safe. However, if you put 30% damage on a monster that's really scary, you might risk really high. However, again, this also depends on the pack density, and if you hover on these monsters, you see how many packs there are, how dense those packs are, and doing so will allow you to put the hardest mods on maybe the lowest number of monsters, or maybe on the easiest monster to kill. So there's actually a choice there to be made, and there's also good modifiers as well, although they will definitely be rarer than these ones. And this is going to be a slow league. First off, this is not a league you can opt out. If you decide to not even take the lantern at level 1, these mods will just be randomly chosen, and you will not be able to opt out of this league, and this is going to be heavy for some players, like very, very heavy things. I think the last league that was so heavy was probably Tempest, which was really hard in a way that it gets stressful to know that you cannot opt out of the league if you want to just relax a little bit. So yeah, there's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is that every zone you enter, you have to think most likely of what you want to do, especially in the campaign. If you're not playing a very strong starter, these can really ruin your day if you encounter some monsters that are way too strong and just set you back. So yeah, you have to put yourself in the mentality that this league is going to be slower, and definitely much slower than the previous one. Like previous one was just farm the wildwood and get a lot of things. This league is definitely going to be detox from that, and GG knows it, so maybe it's actually a good time to put out such a slow league. So, and this is the main part of the league, but as every league there's going to be crafting. So basically, sometimes you get corpses that you can actually take to the graveyard, and the graveyard will have like literal graves where you can put these corpses, and they will increase certain stats on items. Like, you will be able to craft specific items. For example, you can choose maybe a bow, and you can see here you will have these modifiers that maybe increase the chance of some type of modifiers to appear and decreases the chance of others to appear. And you can craft specific items using these corpses, and yeah, they will be adjacent to each other and they will influence each other. And you can also trade these corpses using the coffins. So GG understands that you might just want to trade some coffins, and I suspect once people understand how this works, some corpse will definitely be of a very high value, and most people will just trade them because it looks really annoying to try to understand how this works. Again, kinda looks like the garden was for harvest, but maybe I'm just exaggerating, who knows. Although you can obviously craft items like these, which are very, very, very good. But GG is just teasing us. You know that to craft an item like this, you'll probably need like 20 corpses and then pass an RNG check as well. So let's not get too much ahead of ourselves. We know that it's going to be really, really annoying and really, really convoluted unless you're going to put so many hours into it. There's also going to be new unique items, 5 of which are exclusive to this Necropolis League. And some of these items are really, really cool. They're all really good. Like these helmets here granting cast speed and spell damage on rage instead of attack and attack speed, really making it like you can do a berserker going spell. That's honestly really interesting. These items are looking like they are really build defining, so I'm digging that. You can also get some like modifiers for the zones into these items, and as you can see, this one changes pack monsters are harmless frogs, and you can use these on a zone, and then one of the monsters that you choose will have this thing here. So maybe there's a very hard monsters and you make them harmless frogs. So yeah, these are really interesting. We'll see how people will be able to combo these with other things. And GG is also adding a new tier of endgame difficulty. So basically, between the normal bosses and the Uber versions, or Uber versions, they just put in a new tier, and it's tier 17 maps. These maps are quite hard. They are unmodifiable, as you can see here. They have very hard mods, and they grant these fragments which are used to actually do Uber versions of the usual Uber bosses, you know, and these allowed GG also to remove them from the Atlas passive skill tree. There, instead, they added other things like league-specific points, and this is the first time they do that, so we'll have to see how that goes. Also, another really cool thing they did is you will earn, and we'll have to see how that goes, you will earn the ability to have more than one Atlas skill tree, and you will be able to change between skill trees freely, and that is amazing. Like, you do not have to respec, so you can have one skill tree to get higher tier maps. Like early in the league, you just start with that, and then you get the ability to have another skill tree, and you can specialize in something different, and you can really swap that between one map and the other. So that is one of the best changes that they brought, and that is definitely a huge one. They should have teased these quality of life rather than the others they did. Anyway, they also reworked the scarabs, and well, I'm not gonna go over too much on that, but yeah, we'll have to see how that goes by playing, honestly. There's some new gems here, and yeah, you can see the gems here, I guess, like level 20, not even 20% quality, honestly, but you can see some of those automations and call to arms. I don't know, people are very mad about losing the ability to bounce skills to the left mouse button, so we'll see if that plays out. Some of these actually looks good, but we'll see again when the playtime comes. Of course, there's the new supporter packs, so if you want, you can check those out. Definitely recommended. I mean, GGG usually deserves some money for what they do and the way they update the game every single time. However, one cool thing you can do is just start to play the league. If the league is good, get a supporter pack, show them your support. if the league is not good and you're not liking it, you can just not buy it and show them with your wallet, as they say, your displeasure at what they did. And of course, as we've talked about, there's the full patch notes as well, so if you want to see anything, you can just Ctrl F and type your favorite skill for, like, to see if it's been nerfed to the ground or if it's still viable, or you can just give it a full read and see if there's anything that you like about that. One thing that I wanted to quickly touch about, going back to the Ranger gameplay, is that, as you know, PAX East has just happened, and many content creators have been flown there by GGG to actually try Path of Exile 2 for about 4 hours of gameplay on a full new account, starting from level 1, so basically it's mostly Act 1 content, and they had the choice between Warrior, Ranger and Sorceress. And these videos have been released and are being released as they are being approved by GGG, so you can see a lot, and I mean a lot, of footage ranging from a lot of content creators, someone who broke the game, someone who just played like 2 hours of content, no commentary, and yeah, I've seen many of those yesterday. Honestly, spent much more time than I'd like to admit on those, but from what I've seen, the general concept of the game seems to be it's much more Soul-like than PoE1, as you have to really understand how bosses work, you have to understand their movesets, you have to dodge them, and you have to actually wait for good moments to actually land your DPSs. There's also a new bar that's like stun bar that works very much like poise in Soul games, where after a while that you're hitting the boss, you just break their poise and they're standing there still for a couple seconds, allowing you for free DPS, which honestly I like a lot, as it allows GG to design very slow skills that you can actually use if you time well with these moments. So for what I've seen, PoE2 is shaping out to be an extremely good game, and yeah, it's said that they are delaying the beta to this winter, but the game is shaping out to be really, really good, so I cannot wait for that. So if you want to know more about and see more about that, definitely head over to YouTube and search for PoE2 gameplay, and you'll get a lot of new results, and they are definitely worth it. So yeah, I guess that was all for this week, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment down below. Also, if you want to remain updated every week, you should subscribe to my channel. That was all. I've been your host Giorgio, and I'll see you guys the next time.